This evening, President Ali addresses teacher salary anomalies, announces housing loans and support, breakthrough in Rose Hall double murder case, rearrested relative raises new questions, violent robbery at Diamond on young students raises alarms. In the region, Brazil launches plan to fight drug cartels amid latest violence. Internationally, Italy bus crash, at least 21 killed in accident near Venice. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for October 4th, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali announced that existing teacher salary anomalies, where some are paid below their minimum scales, will be corrected this month. During a meeting with teachers at State House, the president announced that this correction would involve a one-off arrears payment totaling over $700 million for eligible teachers from September 1st, 2020 to September 30th, 2023. Additionally, President Ali revealed that at least 2 commercial banks would pre-qualify and approve loans for teachers at a special interest rate of 3.75% with a ceiling of $15 million to assist them in building or continuing construction on their homes. To further support teachers, the government will provide steel and cement subsidies to help build foundations. The president encouraged teachers to voice their concerns during the meeting, including issues related to school infrastructural development, allowance increases, and human resource development. President Ali emphasized that the government would take a holistic approach to address these issues, prioritizing the welfare of both teachers and students. He also mentioned that the country would be welcoming 2,300 newly trained teachers graduating from the Cerro Porter College of Education this year to address the shortage of teachers in some schools. Also making the headlines, a relative was rearrested in the Rose Hall double murder case. Over the weekend, the police rearrested a relative who was initially among the 4 suspects in the murder of Melissa Rokiam and her 8-year-old son Anthony Rokiam in Rose Hall Town, Berbice back in August. The bodies of Melissa and Anthony were discovered with severe chop wounds on August 23, 2023. Melissa's older brother, her neighbor, a cousin, and her boyfriend were initially arrested but released on bail after 72 hours. The rearrested suspect had been released and was later found breaking into the house where the bodies were discovered. Relatives suspect that the perpetrator may have entered the house while Melissa was shopping on that day of the incident. Melissa's boyfriend, who last saw her on the day before the murders, mentioned a disagreement between her and her older brother but did not provide details. Melissa's jewelry, which she wore daily, is also missing from the scene. In other news, rising crime rates are a constant concern, but when robbers take their actions to the next level of attacking our young leaders, the need for urgent and comprehensive measures to protect our communities become even more evident. In a recent incident, 2 Diamond students were not just robbed, but they were also subjected to a violent attack as they left their lessons. Inquiries disclosed that the 2 male victims, a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old, fell prey to ruthless assailants as they were leaving their lessons around 7:45 p.m. at Diamond Access Road near the Buster Company on Tuesday evening. The boys were heading in a western direction out of Diamond Access Road when they observed 5 identifiable male juveniles who approached the 16-year-old and dealt him several cuffs and stabs using an ice picker about his back and a cuff above his right eye before relieving him of a cell phone valued at $85,000. The suspects also held on to the 15-year-old and relieved him of his cell phone and backpack with valuables that value around $85,000 before escaping. Detectives processed the scene and the area was canvassed for CCTV footage. The area was checked for the suspects, but they were not seen. An investigation is in progress as the Ghana Police Force works to curb this senseless violence that endangers innocent lives and threatens our society's safety. Stick around when we return. 3 suspects charged in New Amsterdam RDC office robbery case, and traffic chief reminds police ranks to comply with tint permit regulations.
Oh gosh, what's this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is what I gonna do here?
Let's start improving your child grades today. Register for our primary or nursery department. Hidden Treasures, we're located at 204 E Half Charlotte Street between Camp and Alexander. Or contact us at 6490373.
I can call them now.
Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
All we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinate soak for all you don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radica went to the supermarket and she papa buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Ranks of the Ghana Police Force, Region 4A Division were warned to ensure that their privately owned vehicles with tins comply with the requisite tin permit. Traffic Chief Senior Superintendent Mahendra Singh made this announcement during a muster and inspection exercise held at Region 4A Divisional Headquarters on Sunday. The Traffic Chief inspected ranks in parade and spoke to them on issues of welfare, performance and conduct, as well as enhanced capacity to meet current and future demands. Ranks were urged to ensure that privately owned vehicles with tint must comply with the requisite tint permit. He also urged ranks to be professional and courteous to ensure effective service delivery to all members of the public. Noting that image is important, Singh reminded the traffic ranks that they are representatives of the Commissioner of Police and the window through which foreign nationals and residents see the country. In other news, 3 persons were charged in relation to the robbery under arms at the Regional Democratic Council's office in New Amsterdam, Berbice, when they appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Tuesday, October 4th. 32-year-old O'Neill Lampkin, a construction worker of Sheet Anchor Village, East Country, Berbice, 25-year-old Damian Morgan of 4th Ordnance, East Country, Berbice, and 27-year-old Shaquille Grant, a businessman of Asylum Street, New Amsterdam, Berbice, were charged when they appeared before Magistrate Faye McGusty, where the charge was read to them. They were not required to plead. Bail was set in the sum of $500,000 each. The armed robbery was committed on Suresh Sukhanandan and the RDC office in New Amsterdam, Berbice on September 13, 2023. Sukhanandan was beaten and bounded before bandits carted off with an undisclosed amount of cash from the RDC's office. The trio will return to court for a report on October 24, 2023. The case was transferred to the New Amsterdam Magistrates Court. Water is vital for life, but can also bring health risks when contaminated. The Ministry of Health reminds citizens that contaminated water may lead to waterborne diseases, posing a greater threat to vulnerable groups like children and the elderly. The Government Analysis Food and Drug Department plays a critical role in guaranteeing clean and safe water for all Guyanese by regularly inspecting and licensing water processing facilities. The ministry offers these guidelines to assist consumers and promote safe water practices, purchasing water from processing plants and delivery vehicles. Consumers should verify licensing. Always ensure that your water supplier is licensed by the Government Analysis Food and Drug Department and check for a company label affixed to the bottle. Check labels, inspect packaging, and inquire about water quality testing procedures. Prioritizing cleanliness, regular bottle replacement, proper storage is also recommended. Additionally, consumers are cautioned against purchasing unlabeled or suspicious water containers and should question unclear water sources. By adhering to these guidelines, consumers can make informed choices, ensuring the safety and quality of the water they purchase while safeguarding their health and well-being. Persons can also check the Ministry of Health's page for a list of companies licensed to provide treated water for 2023. Don't go away after the break. Brazil launches plan to fight drug cartels amid latest violence. An Italy bus crash, at least 21 killed in accident near Venice.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is credit. And today, all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and poise cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and our purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you who don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document planting flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness, or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Brazil has launched a $180 million plan against organized crime. The announcement came after the latest outbreak of violence, which saw dozens killed in police raids, many of them children and teenagers. But the challenge for security forces remains: how to fight the drug cartels without claiming more innocent lives. Al Jazeera's Monica Yanihu reports.
School children raising their voices in protest one day after Brazil announced its plan to fight organized crime. The government says it will invest $180 million in equipment, intelligence, and increased cooperation among security forces with the intent of reducing violence. But in Rio de Janeiro's favelas or slums, there is fear. These teenagers say they're afraid they'll be killed in police raids, like their friend, 13-year-old Thiago Menezes.
Any child walking in a favela can be killed. Just because we are not wearing a t-shirt or shoes, policemen can say they mistook us for criminals and shoot us.
Thiago was shot dead by policemen 2 months ago while riding a motorcycle, one of 28 children and teenagers killed by police forces this year in the state of Rio de Janeiro, all of them in poor neighborhoods.
There's nothing like the pain of a mother who loses her child. But what hurts more is the injustice. The police have no right to shoot and kill and then ask questions. After my son, many other children were killed.
Residents in poor neighborhoods like this live in constant fear of police raids and shootouts with criminal gangs. But an outburst of violence last month in the northeastern state of Bahia shocked Brazilians. More than 70 people were killed in police operations.
Brazil's forces say they're badly paid and equipped to deal with shootouts among increasingly organized and armed drug lords. These images, recently aired by Brazilian television, show drug cartels training their soldiers in a sports court right next to a school and a daycare center in the Complexo da Maré, one of Rio de Janeiro's most violent slums.
What we have seen in recent years are emergency police operations. But what Brazil needs is a continuous action plan, a plan involving all levels of government, which will also invest in social measures like education and healthcare. It is the only way to reduce violence, which is affecting the most vulnerable.
Thiago's parents say they hope their son's death has not been in vain and that other children may have a future in Brazil. Monica Yanaki of Al Jazeera, Rio de Janeiro.
Internationally, at least 21 people have been killed in a bus crash near the Italian city of Venice. Firefighters says the vehicle caught fire after plunging off a bridge. Al Jazeera's Alessandro Beers report.
Across the lagoon from the famed sites of Old Venice, a scene of carnage. Firefighters working through the night to recover bodies and put out flames. This bus was carrying foreign tourists to a campsite on the mainland. It plunged from an overpass and then burst into flames.
The bus went off the road at a height of more than 10 meters. It's a battery-powered electric bus, so it caught fire, and they found the people inside the bus engulfed in flames. The scene that the firemen had to deal with was really difficult, really bad.
More than 20 people were killed, including 2 children. Among the dead are Ukrainians, a German, and the Italian bus driver. Several others were injured, some in serious condition. The mayor of Venice described the scene as apocalyptic. and declared the city in a state of mourning. The Italian Prime Minister expressed her profound condolences. The cause of the accident remains unclear. The bus was new, and that stretch of road hasn't been an issue in the past. Italy's public prosecutor has launched an investigation as families across Europe wait for answers. Alexandra Byers, Al Jazeera.
And finally, an obscure religious movement believed to be promoting an imminent end-of-the-world ideology has been accused of engaging in sexual violence and forced marriage of its own members, including children. In recent weeks, at least 8 children managed to escape from the mountain community and provided harrowing first-person testimonies to the authorities in Socorro town. Former members of the religious movement says they believe its leader was Jesus reincarnated. Al Jazeera's Barnaby Liu reports.
A welcome bit for royalty, and a show that projects a community living in harmony. Around 5,000 members of the Socorro Bayanihan services moved here in 2019. That was after an earthquake struck, and their leader, 23-year-old J. Renz Kilario, also known as Senor Aguila, warned them of the threat of a tsunami.
Even if the houses look like we're living in poverty, we are happy.
Former followers say they were led to believe they were closer to heaven in this mountain enclave. But what some of them told a Senate panel sounded more like a hell. One, known as Jane, that's not her real name, says she was 14 when she was forced to marry a stranger.
Senor Aguila would pair girls who are 12 years old and above with boys who are 18 or older. He'd then perform a wedding ceremony, and you can't refuse because he is God.
A story corroborated by victims like Ash, who we met in Socorro. Town is where the group was founded before morphing into what authorities now say is a cult. She was 14 when she got married and 15 when she gave birth to her son.
Within 3 nights of marriage, your husband must take your virginity away. That's a rule. I think it's fair to call it rape.
Victims say they had to escape to be able to tell their stories, but they've kept their identities hidden through fear of retaliation. The government has posted police officers right by the entrance of the community, but this outpost here and the gates, they've been here for a while. According to former members, people here can't freely go in and out. Which may explain why children haven't gone to school for years. These improvised classes only began in September as allegations of child sexual abuse surfaced.
During the pandemic, of course, children were learning from home.
But Renz says the lack of education was what pushed him to flee.
I'm 12 years old and yet I still don't know how to write.
Senor Aguila has denied all the accusations, but he and ranking members face charges that could land them in jail for life if they're found guilty. Barnaby Liu, Al Jazeera, Socorro, Southern Philippines.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.